Hey everyone, this is Relics,
And I'm Nagatron.
and we are watching Round 5 of the World of Tanks Classic League Season 1 on Lakeville with 17th Battalion 7thAD versus the Wrecking Crew 2. So let's get it going. Alright, starting out here we have 17th Battalion running an E100, a Moss, 3 IS-7s, 2 T-110s, a T-92 and an M43 for artillery, and a T-50-2 for scouting. And it looks like they're going right away to take over the city here with one Moss back on defense there.
The Wrecking Crew is running two E100s, two T-110s, an E-75, a Yog Tiger, an Object 704, a T-44, an Object 212, a GW Panther, and a BT-2. One thing I immediately note here is that one of their E100s and their 704 are both still not loaded.
Ooh, that could end up costing them a bunch. That T-50-2 had a great light all the way across the lake there. Saw a couple.
One thing I do like is the usage of the BT-2. If you have any extra points, you might as well use them and get that extra vision. That is something a lot of teams seem to look over.
Yep. Just make your people buy a little T1 or T2 tank. Makes a huge difference for passive spotting. Just find a good bush to throw them in. T-44 out early there to artillery. I really like 17th Battalion's movement in the city here. They have that 50-2 way up in front, able to spot any tanks incoming first. That way, their heavy tanks aren't in danger of either artillery or any kind of incoming tanks. That forward spotting is always a good move.
Unfortunately for the Wrecking Crew, we're just now passing 2 minutes into the match, so it looks like the E100 and 704 won't be joining them at all.
Ooh.
Oh, never mind. They both just loaded.
It's gonna. Hopefully, they weren't planning for any kind of city push or anything, because that'll definitely cost them with that E100 being out. It looks like right now we're just waiting to see any kind of movement on the Wrecking Crew's part, so that their artillery can start doing some work here.
17th has both of their artillery over here in A8, which is a nice angle for shooting into the city there. But with that advantage, especially considering the fact that two of the other players hadn't loaded, they really needed to start pressing towards more of an advanced position, maybe around the F line, backside of those buildings at F8, F9.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a little bit more poking with that 50-2 up there just to see if anything's coming down that zero line. And here we go with some movement.
Well, they're settling into the buildings now, effectively owning over half of the city at this point.
And based on that T-50-2's vision, I'm not thinking there's anything directly down the zero line. Until we get to maybe the JK column. There's that light of that BT-2 again. Looks like he's just watching the swamp, making sure nothing's coming over. This is probably going to be a problem for the Wrecking Crew because they really don't have any spotting going on in the city. I don't think they really know where any of 17th Battalion's tanks are.
BT-2 is making his move. Unfortunately for him, artillery is nowhere near it.
Yeah, the most he'll find is an angry moss. I think that 50-2 might have been trying to proxy spot. That was a pretty smart move. Make sure there's nothing behind those buildings. Yeah, still no tanks. Ah, there we go. So it looks like we might just be turtling up along the JK here, unless they have some kind of swamp push planned. Ooh, trading some nasty shots there. Unfortunately for their artillery, I don't think they have very good angles on the sides of those buildings there. But they do have a T-92, so they can at least splash stuff out pretty easily.
Definitely, if the tanks get near the western side of those buildings, then the both artillery will have better shots. The E-100 is completely out of range. They could probably walk one or two of them up to about D0, considering they've got that whole road on lock, and be effectively able to fire on that region right there.
Yeah, they're still doing a great job of moving cover to cover. You can see the T110 and the E100 down there, just hiding in between cover, making sure nothing's coming through that way, and ready to come up the road. So we have at least 3 of their heavies in this corner here. The wrecking crew really needs to pull these tanks back some, bring these IS-7s around the corner so their artillery can at least do a little bit of work over here. All of this area is in complete arty cover. I think that's one thing with a turtle that a lot of people forget is you need to hold back and let people bring their guns to you. That way you can track them right in front of you, they act as cover for you, your other tanks that are around you can get shots safely, and you don't have to worry about artillery taking you out after you poke. Here we go with a flank on that.
At least one, maybe both of their tank destroyers are in the J2 area. So I haven't seen any of them over here yet.
Yeah, I think they just took a whole bunch of shots on that T110 because that was about 4 or 5 hits I saw there. Now they're at least getting into a better section where their 212 and their Panther can start hitting these IS-7s. But they're about to have a T110 in their backyard.
They could probably press their 50-2 and the E100 up right now, given their numerical advantage. There's only so many times they can fire.
That 7-4 is wide open there, so artillery should take care of him pretty quick here. They're doing a great job of creeping up that artillery down the 0 line, making sure they have shots on everything all the way into the cap. That's another good move there. They're trading out hit points of their IS-7s, making sure the freshest is up front. Although they're, it seems like they're tackling just the one T110 there. They probably could just go right at him and get up in his face. Don't let him bounce off that frontal armor there. we go with the E100 pushing up, IS-7's rushing, artillery's about to get knocked out. And it looks like the little BT-2 is going to get away into the cap. I'm pretty sure at this point he's not going to have enough time to cap, though. And he's a little bit alone.
So he's left cap now.
Yeah. So there's a lot of great execution there on 7thAD's part. Really bad luck there with TWC losing those two to disconnects right off the bat.
I'm pretty sure that T-92 just blind shot the BT-2.
All right. Well, great fight, guys. Grats 7thAD.